I found a video here that I thought was interesting. Just want to get your opinion about it.
The book is based on a survey where men and women were asked if they got 80% of everything they want in their ideal mate, would they be happy with that? And women said, no, that's settling. And men said, 80%, I'd be thrilled, that's a catch. And so
80% to the women you surveyed is settling?
That's settling because, the question is, what actually makes us happy in long-term romantic love? And, that's the question that I explore in the book. And I'm a journalist, so I went out and I asked neurobiologists about chemistry, and I asked behavioral economists about demographics, and I asked marital researchers.
What are women too picky about here?
Well, I'll tell you, men and women were asked what would be a deal breaker for going on a second date, and men named 3 things. The women came back with 300 things that would rule out a guy for a second date, and we're talking about like another 2 hours and maybe a free dinner, and they wouldn't do it. And there were things like he wore a brown belt with black shoes.
That's the video I definitely want your opinion on. If I need to play it again, let me know. But I want to ask this because hypogamy is the opposite of hypergamy, and it's basically women marrying down.
Yes.
And there's a common statement in a lot of single women, and you heard this lady say it in this video, I don't want to settle. I refuse to settle. I want to ask you, Coach Cher, and you can respond to the video however you choose, but also I want to ask, what do you believe that women who make that statement are referring to?
Well, I believe that they would like the man to be able to bring something to the table. And so if the man, not only is he not bringing something to the table, he's not trying, then that can be a downer for some woman. And then I want to step back to upbringing. Some women, they were brought up a certain way. So here comes Joe Blow, and he isn't able to continue with that. And so it's going to be an adjustment for the woman, and some women don't want to adjust. And unfortunately, it sounds degrading when women say, I don't want to, marry down. I don't want to settle. And I think settling has so much, it's loaded. It can be settling in so many different ways. I can bring up the piece about some women say, well, the man has too many children. I don't want to settle for that. Baby mama drama and all of that. However, there are some women who will be totally fine with it. For me, I grew up where my stepmother, she treated me like I was her daughter. And she and my mom provided such a great example for me with that, because my stepmom would ask my mom, how's my daughter doing? Referring to me, which is my mom's daughter, obviously. And had just a great relationship. God rest my stepmother's soul. May she rest in peace. She passed away. She was one of the most loving people. And I say that to say that there is the example of some women who wouldn't mind with men who have children, because they look past that. They love the man, they love his children. They don't matter how many children. But then there are those who may say, I'm not settling for that. I don't want to deal with no other woman. I don't want to deal with the kids of other women and all of that. So it's loaded to settle. And I think part of it could be upbringing. Part of it could be lifestyle. And part of it could be that this longing that they have to live that life because of what society makes it seem that it is to live that life, and going right back to the mindset piece. They want to live a life where they can have the man like a trophy, that, oh, he's a doctor, he's a lawyer. And the truth is, people in other roles that people may look down on, they might be doing very well, not just financially, but also in terms of their qualities, and they might be people of integrity and so on, and will stand by you no matter what. And that person with all the money and all of that, who you're looking for, they might not. It may end in 6 months or 3 months, for that matter, or 3 days. You just never know. I saw this movie recently, if you don't mind me sharing this.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
I saw this movie recently, and it kind of speaks to the video somewhat that you just showed. Mm-hmm. And so basically, the woman, she thought that the man was driving Uber. So she thought that he didn't, he couldn't afford her because she liked the finer things of life. However, he had a store, a 3-story store where he sold clothing and different things of that nature. So, and he had employees. He really didn't have to work Uber, but she met him working Uber. So she thought, he can't manage me. And that's the other thing. I think sometimes women need to get to know the next person a little better before jumping to conclusions, because you can tell me if I'm wrong about this, but I think that some men, they try to test the woman to see, is she really for my money or is she really for me? So they may be missing out if they don't really get to know the person. One date, what is one date going to do? Now, if you didn't click, that's different. For me, the deal breaker is if I didn't click, I'm not going back.
Yeah. Yeah, you're spot on that. We do put women through tests, especially we want to see how much we can trust you and how much you will respect us. So it may very well be finances, but it may be other instances. We want to see how you respond in certain moments, because the last thing we want is to find someone to latch ourselves on to for the rest of our lives. And this is someone that can't provide me peace, or this is someone I can't trust with my life. Every man I know has almost put their lives in the woman's hands, because if you build something up within yourself, or build something up to make something of yourself, to allow this person to see the intricacies of my life, I put my life on the line, because at any point you can destroy it. And I think a lot of people, especially my generation and Gen Zs for sure, have a healthy, no, my bad, not a healthy, they have a high level of fear regarding marriage and regarding long-term relationships with women, because most of our laws at this point are on the women's side.
Let's go.